COVID-19 cases in the US are 3,819,139, where 391,538 are from California, from which 8,552 are from prisons and increasing each day. I have seen cases from family and friends in which they are not cared for on time or correctly, which is why in prisons having less resources are less likely to save or treat prisoners. Authorities have always been unequitable and today they're being racially unfair to release some prisoners with minor offenses during pandemics, and we as citizens have the power to change this. Even though authorities are concerned that prisoners in jail may be all infected, they're being racially unequally when releasing inmates. The only solution for this is cultural learning, community engagement, and the cooperation of the criminal justice system. First, it is known that prisons in the US are racially disproportionate, and of course, white inmates are favored at the time when reducing sentence and releasing them. However, black and other ethnicities inmates are discriminated and ignored because although these may have better chances of going out, the justice system will simply not give them the chance. According to a nonprofit organization which is in charge of social justice in prisons, Illinois Department of Corrections, last month about 3,400 prisoners were released from where 46% of inmates released early were black, even though black inmates make up for 54% of the state prison population. Meanwhile, 43% of inmates who were released early were white, although white people make up about 32% of the prison population. So what they do is divide the number of cases and make a non-accurate calculation average of prisoners and then take out the number of prisoners they're allowed to release, adding the fact that part of these white prisoners who were released had a sentence of reduction before getting released to get minor law offenses to then with the purpose of releasing more of them. Isn't it unfair? Now, let me talk to you about the current situation. Because of COVID-19, the government and authorities have decided that some prisoners should be released to decrease the number of deaths and infected people in jails. However, there have been some racial discrimination at the moment of releasing prisoners. White inmates are being released disproportionately to black and other races inmates. On one section of the manual about reducing racial disparity, it proposed explanations for disparities range from variation in offending based on race to biased decision making in the criminal justice system, and also include a range of individual level factors such as poverty, education outcomes, unemployment history, and the criminal records. Finally, I will talk to you about the possible solution for this issue. For this problem, the solution depends on two parts of the society, the community or citizens and the criminal justice system. We as citizens of the United States have the right and the civil duty to speak for ourselves and fight for what is fair. On a manual for practitioners and policymakers, there is information stating that citizens oversight committees are not uncommon in other arenas such as medicine, law, and education, and can be used to dispel the code of silence. There are more than 100 of these committees around the nation. Here in California, we have more resources to help others. If we as a community get together to discuss this, we may be able to solve part of the racial injustices in this country. The criminal justice system and authorities have the responsibility of being fair when applying the law to its citizens. Based on a sentencing project organization's report, the perception or existence of racial bias or unwarranted racial disparities reduces pure public confidence in the system, which will in turn affect the public safety outcomes. To conclude, there is a huge problem on racism in this society that has existed for many centuries, and today is no exception. Now that COVID-19 have impacted many people's life and caused a lot of losses, the criminal justice system in the US decided to keep inmates in prison safe as well. In effort to do this, they decided to release some of these prisoners, but they're being racially unequitable. While some white people are having sentence reduction and being released, some other, like black and other ethnicities, are partly released, and some of them who have the possibility of going out are not taken in consideration because the system is supposedly being proportional. The truth is that this proportionality it's based on the same number of inmates released per race and not proportional to the number of inmates from each race. Some of the solutions are in the hands of citizens and the criminal justice system. If we want to change this issue, we as citizens need to take a step forward and fight for our rights to be applied. We might think that the authorities and the criminal justice system or the government have the last word at a decision. It is normal for us to think that, but we need to create this new mindset that the final decision is ours because we are the people that create this society and therefore this government. Thank you.